Welcome back to another RX Muscle Spotlight. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is our newest IFBB Pro. He's 6'6" tall and a mountain of muscle. The man I'm talking about is Josh Maley. Welcome to the show. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you for having me. Thank you also for the kind words the other day on your show. When you were talking with Chris about myself, that was pretty cool for me.
Yeah, you had one of these weekends that, like, it's like the weekends of dreams made up of you. You earned your IFBB Pro card, and on the same exact weekend, you got to actually compete as a pro on a pro stage, and you did very well. Talk to me about the experience and what it was like. Go through it.
It was amazing. I mean, I like in this country, I did like a regional 2 weeks prior. I won the overall. So I was feeling good. But I'm not someone who's terribly high on confidence when it comes to sort of my own physique. I'm always looking at the kind of critical aspects. So I was happy with where I was at. And it just came good on the Friday at the amateur Arnold's. I took the super heavyweight win, took the overall, got invited there and then to the pro show, which is this clip is from. And got to compete straight in with some of the best in the world. So it was one hell of a weekend, one I will not forget, one I'm still trying to process, to be honest.
You actually said on this video clip, he said, "Thank God my friend filmed this because I wasn't sure it really happened."
Absolutely, like I was backstage with those boys, kind of pinching myself. Obviously Andrew won the show, and so you got multiple Olympians. Patrick then won just at the weekend. So to stand on stage, straight out of the amateur ranks with Olympians was surreal, to say the least.
What did you weigh on stage?
So I'm not 100% sure for the amateur show, but for the pro, in the morning of the pro show, I was 298.
That's awesome. 300 pounds on stage at 6'6", and you probably need to be bigger, just because of your height,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'd have to be. Me and Jamie Johal are really good friends,
right?
And obviously he's 6'5", and similar body weight, slightly heavier. And we're always thinking and talking like, what do we actually have to do size-wise to sort of stand alongside the shorter guys? But we're getting there. We're making headway.
What do you weigh in the off-season, just out of curiosity?
So I think this off-season just gone, the heaviest I got to was 345 in the morning.
All right, so you must stay very lean then, I'm assuming.
Ish, yeah. Like I don't blow up too much. I mean, I kind of push until I feel heavy.
Right.
And then I try and just focus more on, the small gains, the small wins.
You're lucky because you have good symmetry. You got a small waist, you got flary quads, and so and you have a good V taper. A lot of times, guys that are that tall, they have a lot of problems with leg development.
Yeah. I'm almost the other way around.
Oh, really?
My legs are good, and it's like sort of my upper body, chest, arms have taken a long time to get anywhere near, where they need to, and there's still a lot of work to do. But again, that's why we do this sport, to progress. So that's the aim.
When did you start training? How old are you?
So my kind of sporting history, when I was so this chap here, he was a competitive swimmer, quite a good one as well. I did like Olympic trials, Commonwealth trials.
Oh, wow.
At the age of 18, 19, and then I retired from swimming at 19. Obviously, I was not quite this skinny. I was about 85 kilos when I stopped swimming, and anyone who knows swimming knows there's a lot of training involved. So I spent all the hours that I was not in the pool in the gym, and I just massively enjoyed that. Gave me a lot of confidence to get a bit more size on my frame. I did my first show at 22, and then from there I've competed. I just worked out earlier, actually. I've done 27 shows.
Wow!
So the pro card was one on show 26, and the pro debut was 27.
Wow! So I mean, talk about a long journey. You were in it for the long haul, and you know what? You got the, I guess you could say, treasure chest at the end of the rainbow, so to speak, because you didn't
exactly
give up.
And that's what makes it all the more rewarding. Like you can see from that last photo, like I'm not sort of genetically predisposed to being a muscular guy. So, you know, it's taken its time. I've not rushed the process. I've not pushed certain things stupid. You know, obviously we've all kind of done what we need to do, but yeah, it's all come good, and you know, it was worth it anyway, because I truly just love bodybuilding. But obviously to get that affirmation and that respect and that kind of recognition from the pro league to say you're kind of good enough to be standing there with the best in the world still sounds weird coming out of my mouth.
Did you have a lot of people along the way saying, "Hey, what are you wasting your time? You're too tall for bodybuilding"? Did anyone say that to you?
Yeah, like, so it was funny. Like when I started out, that was all I got. Like, oh, you're a skinny guy, like you're gonna get nowhere. And then probably around 2015, 2016, I started making headway in another federation called NABA. And then I started to look like a bodybuilder. And then people said, "Oh, like you're really lucky because you've got like the frame." And I was like, "This frame's taken 6 years of absolute blood and guts to like make it look like this." So it's not, you know, it's not genetics. And I was quite lucky really when I started out. Obviously, I knew the greats of the sport, but I didn't have any clue how tall or short they were. So in my eyes, I was like, yeah, they're probably my height, so it's achievable. How wrong I was.
It's crazy, right? This is a good perspective right here. My good friend Ronnie Coleman, and sitting down in a chair, you look like you're kneeling down for like an 8-year-old kid there. That and Ronnie's 5'11", you know, so
that
goes to show you. That's crazy. Wow. What you know, I was saying to Chris Aceto on the show, I said, man, if I look like this guy, I would be in the movies. You ever have an inkling to want to go into movies, or, you know, try to get some like bit roles even in some of these, like, you know, Game of Thrones or something like that, like Hafthor or Bjornsson did?
Yeah, I have thought about it. Like I'm quite I'm a very shy person really. Like bodybuilding has like helped me come out and be a hell of a lot more confident. And within bodybuilding, I am confident, and outside of it, I'm still quite shy. So I'm not sure how good I'd be as an actor, but as an extra, I just stood there. I'm sure I could look the part. I did try and get into the Vikings series. They were doing an audition in Ireland, but I actually think it was one of the competitions. I was at a competition when it was on, and I emailed them asking if there was any like allowance to try a different date, and they never got back to me.
You got to adhere to their schedule. You know, there's no way you can't get into the movies if you really wanted to. But, you know, it's I always tell people it's got to be a passion. If you're just doing it because people are saying to do it and you don't really want to do it, then you're not going to be good at it. But if it's like something like you're like, holy mackerel, that's what I want to do, I guarantee you would be good at it, because there's no one in your league. In other words, if they need a big, freaky, crazy, muscular, Viking-looking guy, they're going to get you. I mean, that's you know,
I completely agree. Like I always said, like I'm not fussed enough to go out my way for it. But if someone came to me and said, "Listen, we'd love you to be in this," it's like a bucket list thing. I wouldn't say no. I'm not someone who says no. But I think with how much I enjoy day-to-day bodybuilding, it's like I'm not quite prepared to go out of my way for it.
What about if WWE came knocking? Would you go there or no?
I don't think I'm that athletic, to be honest.
Well, I don't think they even want you to do anything. They would just say, you have to see some of these other guys. Like Andre the Giant really didn't do too much athletic stuff.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, you would definitely be popular in that, I would think. You know.
Yeah.
So it's funny that, you know, you and Jamie know each other and kind of like are friendly, which is because you're about the same height, but you are actually an inch taller than him, correct?
I am, yeah. And didn't everyone tell him about it? Because obviously we were at the Arnolds together, and he said, God, the amount of people who have told me that like I need to take tallest IFBB Pro off of my profile now and all of this. And I was like, I'm sorry, mate. I'm so sorry.
I think you're going to have to be Josh the Giant now. Jamie's going to have to drop the title now. You know? He's going to lose the name.
He'll always be the Giant, without a doubt. I'll be the Viking.
All right, you could be the Viking. That's better. Talk to me a little bit about support systems. Obviously, you know, this sport is not something that's done alone. You want to give some credit to people who've helped you out along the way.
Yes, I mean, I'm a little bit more unique, and this is again where like it was an added drive and an added bonus, and just like it made it all the more special. But I've coached myself for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So I've done this on my own. I haven't kind of had that level of support. But in terms of sort of, you know, those close to me, my parents, bless them, are the most supportive people ever. They haven't got a clue about bodybuilding, but they are always behind me and kind of, you know, asking and supporting. My girlfriend, you know, anyone who has a partner in the sport knows how demanding that is. Right. And I've got some fantastic sponsors. So I've got a fantastic UK-based supplement sponsor called Strong Sports Nutrition. And genuinely, like, the amount they do for me, just in terms of keeping, they do a lot of health products for bodybuilders. And, you know, just, I truly believe the past 4 years in terms of longevity and keeping me in a good place, it's down to them. I've got a fantastic clothing sponsor who also are really supportive, and again, UK-based, Silverback. I don't know if you can see, but they do a lot of strongman stuff. I'm their only bodybuilder, but they, you know, I think again, because of my size, because of my look, they took me on. But honestly, outside of that, I'd say probably like my clients. I'm a coach, and my clients, although I support them probably more than they support me. It's one of those where, you know, if you are a coach, you have that. You know, I try and create like a community within it, and they inspire me because they work damn hard, and, you know, they kind of force me to continue to set the standard, because that's what I want to do. I want to be someone that they're always looking up to. So yeah, that's sort of my little bubble in a nutshell.
Now that you got the pro debut out of the way pretty quickly, what's the goal now? Shut it down, compete next year? I mean, what's your strategy at this point?
Yeah, so again, I don't talk about goals until I've kind of fulfilled them, because it's a bit pointless. But the goal in my mind this year was, I had several shows planned to get the pro card. The Arnold's was actually the first of those, so that was pretty convenient. And then the plan was, to shut it down. So obviously having the opportunity to do the pro show straight away, that was the season done. I'm staying in shape because I want to do some kind of photo shoots over the next few weeks, because, you know, just to record the condition and you know, the moment. And then next year was always going to be a year off for me, just for business and for life. Like, I've competed every year since 2014.
Yeah, I'd say that you deserve the break.
Yeah. So it was always like I was starting to feel a little bit tired, not of bodybuilding, just of the pressure to go off season prep. So this works in really well with obviously now being pro and having a slightly longer term focus. So yeah, next year will be just making the improvements, continuing to improve, doing what I've done for the past, you know, 10 years, and then 2024 putting a few pro shows together, and seeing how it goes. I'm not someone who, you know, goes out of their way to claim big things. I like to put the work in fairly quietly and turn up and then, you know, be quite realistic with it. But I think off of the weekend, I was pleasantly surprised how I did. Like, I think we're all fearful. Well, certainly moving from the amateur ranks to the pro ranks, fearful that you're not going to belong. You're going to be the outlier, quite like obviously. And I felt from the photos and the footage I've seen, yes, there's work to be done, but I didn't look as out of place as I feared. So
you were one of the most conditioned guys up there.
Yeah. And I was really happy with that, because the show was on the Friday for the amateur and the Sunday for the pro. So managing that was fun.
How many cheeseburgers did you eat between those two shows?
I was so good, mate. I've been so good since as well. I don't know why. I think because I'm just on a massive high. Like, I don't need food to actually.
I think the cheeseburgers would have helped. I think you should have eaten a few more cheeseburgers.
Yeah, maybe. My issue is, like, I can't hold water like an absolute buffalo.
Oh, really?
So I was slightly cautious there. So I kept it clean, but I definitely came in kind of fuller and harder for the pro show. So I was happy to, you know, at least improve straight off.
How many more pounds of muscle do you think you need to put on, or do you want to put on this over the next year or two?
I mean, I've always one of the things I always wanted was 300 pounds on stage, which I have now ticked off. So,
which you've done already,
yeah. So for me, it's like I'm not going to rush the weight. Obviously, now I'm not on a specific deadline to be in prep by a date next year. It's just focusing on, you know, the stubborn body parts. You know, I don't feel like my legs, like, you know, where a lot of weight is added is going to be the bigger muscles, legs, back, etc. back and could do with some work, but like in terms of my frame and what I need, it's like arms, chest. So in terms of weight gain, not as much maybe, but if it's in the right places, it should kind of have the desired look.
I think 320 on stage would be really cool.
It would. I'm not going to tell my girlfriend that because she'll fear for my heart even more. But
you're gonna break a few beds too along the way if you tell it. You'd probably have to be 360 to get to 320 on stage.
I'd imagine so. Yeah. So well, I have got 18 months to do it now. So it's never say never.
Do you break things in the off season? I used to, when I was 315 pounds, and I'm a lot shorter than you, I used to break stuff. Like I'd lean back against the car seat, I'd crack the car seat. I would break like chairs I'd sit in and stuff like that. Like, just I didn't realize my weight, how much I weighed,
I've broken chairs in the past. I'm a lot more careful now about choosing and selecting and also testing things before committing to the seat. So
very smart. Josh, you're very smart. You're gonna go a long way.
Yeah, like it's a lesson learned the hard way. But I've not broken anything for a while. He said, I think probably my bed was the last thing, like a hotel bed or something. The ones with the it's like absolute matchsticks. So
the best one, and I don't know if you've heard me tell this story before, but Greg Kovacs, may he rest in peace, was a good friend of mine, and he broke a bathtub. He literally sat into the jacuzzi bathtub and he went and pushed to get up, and the thing, and his hand went through it. That was I never heard of anyone breaking a bathtub. He broke a bathtub.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try and do that then. That's the goal.
Don't do it in your own house though. It's a mess.
Yeah, true.
Well, congratulations on the huge win, and congratulations on making your pro debut. And you sound like a really good guy. You got your head on right, and people can check out your Instagram if they want to, contact you, I'm assuming. And best of luck over the next couple of weeks with your photo shoots, and then of course, I want to see 320 in 2 years.
Yes, game on. 2024, back on stage, bigger than ever, and excited for it.
All right, guys, that's going to take us to the end of another episode of RX Muscle Spotlight. I'm Dave Palumbo with Josh Maley. We'll see you next time.